everybody. We're on page 66 in chapter 3. And yay, we have a new rhythm, eighth notes. So for now, don't worry about looking at that page. Just listen to me and repeat what I do. Just clap back what I do. So my turn, then your turn. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Your turn. 2, 3. My turn. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, so what I just did right there was on each beat, I successively in between each one, I added quicker notes on each beat of a 4/4 bar. And now if you take a look at page 66, these quick notes are called eighth notes, and 2 eighth notes equal 1/4 note. So we typically see them the way you see in the examples at the bottom of the page, or what looks like 2/4 notes that are beamed together. So now we have a new musical notation part. We have the note head and the note stem. Now we have note beams. So the beams connect the stems between rhythms. And if you see this beam, that means that equals 1/4 note. So bum bum is the same amount of time as a quarter note. So let's clap the rhythms at the bottom of the page. Anytime you see eighth notes, just say and right after 1 and 2. Okay, so here we go. Also in the third measure, you can see you could beam more than 2. You can beam a lot of notes together. You see 4 beamed together for 1 and 2 and. Let's try it. Ready? And 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. So we ended with a half note. Now let's try an example in 3/4, and any beam notes are going to go twice as fast. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. Rest, 2 and 3. 1 and 2, 3. And now we'll go back into 4/4 for the last example. 1 and 2, here we go. 1 and rest, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4, off. So you can see that on page 67, we've got a couple of pieces that use a lot of eighth notes. The first is by Alexander Reinagel, and his dates are 1756 to 1809. So he was born just 6 years after Bach died. That clearly puts him in the classical period. And this piece starts on the upper C octave, a C above middle C. And you can see where the eighth notes are. So in measure 2, and again, 3 bars before the end, there's eighth notes. Let's just try the right hand since it has the new rhythm. 1, 2, 1, and here we go. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 1. Take a breath. E up a third. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2. So, and it does repeat, but let's see if we can get our left hand in on it. The left hand is not nearly as complicated. It's a thumb on middle C and down a second to B in measure 3 and 4, back to C, down a third to A, and then G, which is the dominant in the key of C, right? Dominant, and back to tonic. So let's go a little slower and see if we can coordinate both hands. 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and back to C in the left. Now down a third in the left. And Take a breath. Okay, good. So keep working if you weren't able to get your hands together. But we're going to move on to the famous Spring from the Four Seasons by Vivaldi. So this is a very iconic piece that he wrote. He's from the Baroque period. The most famous, really probably the most famous Italian composer of the Baroque period. And he wrote 3 movements for each season. So there's actually 12 movements. It's a very large work. So right hand again is in that octave above middle C, 4 and 1. So let's try the right hand. It has eighth notes mostly at the ends of measures, but there's a couple exceptions to that. 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Good, now softer. 2, 3. 2, now forte. And the left hand, I just did an arrangement of it to make it simple for you. It's all tonic or dominant. So it should be pretty easy to sight read both. Let's give it a go. 4, 1, 2, 3. Now soft. And suddenly loud. Okay, so that one should be, even though it's kind of tricky and lively, it should be a little easier because it's probably familiar to your ear. And we find things are just much easier, even physically, if they're in your ear first.